What happens when you take one of the most iconic and vocally demanding songs of the 80s and completely reinvent it on a national stage? You get a performance that doesn't just get people talking. It gets them arguing. The best friend duo, Letter to Elise, walked onto the Voice stage to perform Aha's legendary hit, Take On Me. Their performance earned them a spot on the show, but it also ignited a firestorm of debate online. Thousands are calling it a flawless masterpiece. But a surprisingly vocal group of viewers is asking a fundamental question. Should a duo even be allowed on a show called The Voice? And wait until you hear why people are furious with the coaches. Many believe this was a four-chair turn performance, and that some coaches made a massive mistake. We're breaking down all the praise, the controversy, and the passionate public reaction right now. Before we dive into the heated debate, if you love breaking down viral performances and seeing what everyone is thinking, do us a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep making these videos. All right, let's get into the biggest controversy first. The moment Letter to Elise appeared on stage together, the audience was divided. The core of the issue? The show's very name. One person put it bluntly, groups should not be allowed on a show called The Voice. The show is not called The Voices. I will always stand by that. This sentiment echoed across the internet. Many felt that a duo has an unfair advantage over solo singers. Someone else added, you need to quit with duos and groups. It's not fair to single voices. The thinking was simple. A solo singer has nowhere to hide. But a duo can use harmony to cover weaknesses or create a bigger sound. One viewer even called it cheating, but an even larger group completely disagreed. They argued that duos keep the show fresh and exciting. A defender of the duo wrote, it's clever to duet. It makes them unique. Another pointed out that music is often about collaboration. Judging a duo on their blend and chemistry is just as valid as judging a solo singer. Many felt the complaints were missing the point, saying the goal is to find incredible vocal talent, whether it comes from one person or two. As one person simply put it, this is what makes the show interesting. The next big debate was aimed directly at the four superstar coaches. As the duo's haunting, slowed-down version of the song filled the room, viewers waited for the chairs to turn. And they waited, and waited. The frustration was real. Online chatter was filled with messages like, this one actually deserves a four-chair turn. And that should have been a four-chair turn. I'm saying it now. When only two of the four coaches eventually turned, many were stunned. They felt the performance was an obvious home run. Someone questioned the coach's strategy, asking, why did the two coaches that have a similar background and could be good for this pair not turn? Theories started flying. Were the coaches confused by the two distinct voices? Were they waiting to see if they could handle the song's notoriously difficult chorus? Or did they just miss a golden opportunity? One viewer declared, it was four-chair material to me and now I have my favorites this season. For a huge chunk of the audience, this performance was a grand slam. And the coach's hesitation was baffling. Let's talk about the music itself. Take On Me isn't just a song, it's pop culture history. Covering it is a massive risk. But Letter to Elise didn't just sing it. They completely deconstructed and rebuilt it. The reaction to their arrangement was overwhelmingly positive. People loved the atmospheric, almost cinematic intro. One viewer said it was so original it felt like hearing the song for the first time. Another called it a fantastic arrangement that set the stage perfectly. They managed to capture the spirit of the 80s while making it feel modern. As one fan put it, it's giving 80s and not just the song, but the way they sing. And I'm so here for this. They turned a high-energy synth-pop anthem into a soulful, emotional ballad, proving that a great song can be interpreted in countless ways. A viewer summed it up perfectly. Such an impressive take on such an iconic song. For a duo, it all comes down to one thing: harmony. And this is where Letter to Elise truly shone. Viewers described their blend as magical and brilliant. One person noted, they have two powerful, distinct voices blending very well. Someone else wrote, their voices aren't similar, yet they blend so well. Another simply said, harmonies were fire. The singer with the glasses received special praise for his vocal control. A viewer pointed out, the man with the glasses has good falsetto mixed with nasal resonance. We feel happy listening. Of course, not everyone agreed. A few felt the blend wasn't perfect. One skeptic wrote, these voices do not mesh well as a duo, sorry. They're clearly two solo artists. Another said, The first singer is strong, not impressed with the second guy. But these opinions were in the minority. Most people were captivated by their vocal chemistry, even comparing them to famous duos like Dan plus Shay. Beyond technique and clever arrangement, this performance hit a deeper emotional note. It left many viewers speechless. The internet was flooded with reactions like, "Oh my God, full-body goosebumps." "OMG, what a performance. Goosebumps!" And simply, "I got chills." For many, it was a wave of nostalgia. The song took them back to their youth, but this version gave them a fresh appreciation for it. One person shared, "This song was the soundtrack to my high school days. I was skeptical, but this version, it was just beautiful." Another was so moved they came back to add more. The energy and performance along with the vocals were just brilliant. Had to add this. That's the sign of a truly memorable performance, one that sticks with you long after it's over. For die-hard fans of The Voice, one of the singers looked familiar, and they were right. One viewer pointed it out. "I'm so glad that Elliot came back. I was bummed that he didn't get a chair turn last season, but he's on the show now." This story of perseverance added another layer to their moment. On top of their talent, people loved their vibe. They were described as adorable with great chemistry. Some made fun comparisons. "Man, when I saw them, I thought of Rhett and Link from GMM." Another said they were reminded of Crash Adams, and for music nerds, their band name was a huge win. A fan wrote they were rooting for them after realizing they named themselves after a song by The Cure. Doesn't get cooler than that. So what's the final verdict from the court of public opinion? Letter to Elise delivered a performance that was both controversial and brilliant. It sparked a debate about the rules of the show. It caused frustration over the coach's decisions. But most importantly, it delivered a moment of pure musical magic. They took an untouchable song, honored it, and made it their own. From the fire harmonies, to the fantastic arrangement, to the full-body goosebumps it gave thousands of viewers. This audition will go down as one of the most talked about of the season. The overwhelming consensus is that these guys are the real deal. Many are saying, "These guys are going to make it far, and I hope they win." But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think duos have an unfair advantage on The Voice? Did this performance deserve a 4-chair turn? And is this the best cover of Take On Me you've ever heard? Let us know your honest opinion in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next breakdown.